And just so you know, today's show is the first Sunday for the Leepa Live Sports Show that we've done yet. So we're excited about kicking off our first Sunday morning show. We're looking to have some callers in. And we also have our first time that we have the co host Chris at another game. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Chris right now and see what's going on over in Foxborough. Chris, what's going on over in Foxborough?
Hey Dave, how you doing here?
We're doing good. How are you?
We're in the P9 parking lot. We got about 20 people tailgating, and then I'll stand around. You can kind of see everybody else tailgating.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see Billy and Donna.
I see Donna.
You can kind of go down the road. You see the flags and everything. Oh, hold on, dude. They want the minute of fame. Hold on.
Nice. Hey, everybody, what's going on out there in Foxborough? Let me hear you. Nice. Boy, Chris, I gotta say, I gotta say to you, you guys start early over there in Foxborough.
Dude, we've been here for the last 2 hours.
You guys have been there for 2 hours?
Yeah, we got 3 more to go. We only got 3.5 more to go.
3.5 more to go. Wow. It looks fun. So what's on the what do you guys got cooking on the grill there, Chris?
On the grill, hold on. Let me go over to it.
Take me to the grill. Is this going to make me hungry? I hope you know I'm going to be hungry when I. Oh wow! What do we got here?
We got Stacy cooking on the grill and Bill helping her out.
Well, yeah. There you go, flame broiled right there. That's looking yummy.
Chicken sandwiches. And then I got Dave here who wants to talk some Patriots football, though.
Oh, Dave wants to talk some major football, huh?
He's jumping into the van, though, so we got to figure out what's going on. I got to show you the van, man. Hold on.
Oh, wow. Whose van is that?
They bought it as a team tailgate, and then they had it wrapped.
Wow. That's how you do it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Dave on in front of the van. He's going to talk to you about a little Patriots defense.
Well, first I want to start with the van, though, itself. And a shout out to Go Graphics. East Long Meadow, Mass. Loving the wrap on the van. Take a peek.
We just showed it.
Little plug there for the graphics.
Yeah, we're two-fisted in the morning. So we want to talk some Patriots football, right?
Yeah, let's talk Patriots football. You guys got Houston in town.
Haven't seen the roof yet. What Johnny said?
Talk Patriots deep for us.
Last time we saw the Patriots, unfortunately, what was the score? 41-33.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop Nick Foles.
That's right.
How'd Nick Foles look on Thursday night?
Well, let me just say this. Let me just say this to you. Let me stop you. Let me stop you right there, okay? Who won the game on Thursday night?
That would be the Eagles.
Yes, and who won the Super Bowl?
That would be the Eagles.
Okay, let's carry on.
So my point is, Johnny, you're making my point. The reason the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they got a pretty decent defense, but we're atrocious on D. We lost Malcolm Butler. All we added was what? Adrian Claiborne and what? Danny Shelton?
Okay, hold up. 40
to 30 all season long.
All right, hang on. You lost who? You lost
Malcolm Butler.
Did he play in the Super Bowl?
Only one play, Johnny. Did you miss that?
Huh. That was kind of a strange set of sequences. So you guys lost, and you didn't have your best player on the field for defense.
Yeah, that was bad coaching there, Johnny.
I appreciate that honesty there. I haven't gotten Chris to say that yet.
I'm real for you, kid. Chris wanted me to talk. I said I'm going to be honest. We lost 41-33. We couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the pass. We couldn't stop the Philly special. I don't see how we're going to stop the Texans today.
Well, you tell me. You tell me this. How are you going to stop the Texans today? Because you know with this quarterback now in his sophomore year, okay, he looked great last year. So how are you going to stop the Texans today?
GOAT. We have the greatest of all time quarterback. That's our only chance.
I give you that right there.
Come on.
I give you that. You do have the GOAT over there, but at some point, and it's going to not happen to where it's going to happen over a year. It's going to be overnight. It's going to be gone. The GOAT is going to head to the pasture to graze.
Johnny, as long as it's not today, let's push it off the next week. Win this week.
I like it. I like the spirit over there, Foxborough. So what's your predicted score? Is it a low scoring game today? Is it a high scoring game?
No, it's going to be a shootout. 39-28 Patriots.
Wow.
John Watson's going to throw for 4, but Brady's going to drive us down multiple times.
And probably you're betting that you guys have the last possession.
Well, that's a guarantee. We're at home, for crying out loud. The refs are in our pockets. The league loves the Patriots.
I like it. I like it. All right. That sounds like a fun game to be at. If it turns out anything like you're predicting, that's going to be a great game for you guys today.
Johnny, if you're ever up in the air, you want to tailgate with us, give Chris your info, we'll find you.
Awesome. I'll definitely take you up on that. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate your input.
You got it, Johnny. Good talking to you, kid.
Yep. So that was exciting. Chris, man, that was a good first guess right there, man. It looks like you got some diehard fans there in the audience.
Say again. I'm having trouble hearing you, man.
I said that was a great first guest that you brought on. You can tell you have some diehard fans out there in the parking lot, which is what every team hopes and wishes to have, and you guys have it right there.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. We're passionate about it. There's no doubt about that. It's we were all talking about getting that 25-year anniversary football, and everybody's pretty excited about it. Some of them didn't get it because of some certain circumstances, and they're giving me the evil eye right now. But yeah, I mean, these guys, we've been tailgating together for 25 years now.
Well, that's weird. Why did some of them not get it?
They didn't have they transferred their tickets because their brother wasn't the responsible one, and they were the responsible one, and now they have 13 years, 25, but they've been coming for 25.
That's funny.
If you knew Scotty, we'll get him on the show. You would understand that.
Well, that's what I want. I want to see Scotty on the show, no doubt about that. So, Chris,
he's on a cruise to the Bahamas. Where is he going? He was supposed to go to Bermuda, but he's on the way up to Maine and Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Ain't that a bitch, huh?
Oh, that is. So, Chris, let me get your idea of this game here. We've talked about it.
I got some other tailgaters that want to be on there.
Okay.
I don't know them, so I don't know what's going to happen here.
That's okay. Hey, look, that's okay. Let's hear them. Bring them on.
They're getting shy, though. They don't want to talk.
They're getting shy? Put the camera on them. Put the camera on them, Chris.
They're not even wearing Pat's jerseys. So you can't talk to them.
Chris, put the camera on them. Let me talk to them.
You want to talk? Come
Yeah.
on over. They don't want to come over.
Well, are they going for the Patriots?
Yeah, they're going for the Patriots.
Ask him if I can get a first name.
They don't want to talk, man. I really want to talk to you.
All right, Chris, let me ask you something. We talked last week, okay? And we've been talking as it. Hey, who you got here, Chris?
This is Billy. Billy's been coming to the games with me for the 25 years that I've been coming to the games.
Hey, Billy, how you doing?
Good, yo.
I'm doing great, man. What do you think about this game today? Are you guys ready to handle the Houston?
I think we're ready to handle them. It'll be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. What do you think about that young quarterback, Watson, that they have over there?
He was looking pretty good last year there for a while, so I think he'll be pretty good.
Right. And what about this Patriot defense that let you guys down last year in the Super Bowl?
Davey was talking about it. It's a question mark. They might have improved a little on the line. A couple new guys that were hurt last year and back, so I think they might be a little bit better, but it's definitely a question mark.
Are you kind of following the same theme as Dave, that this is going to be a shootout?
Shootout? Yeah, it could very well be.
Okay, that sounds like an exciting game. What kind of groceries are you chewing on today?
Groceries, is that what you said?
Yes, what kind of groceries are you throwing down your neck?
Burgers, chicken sandwiches, wash it down with a little broski.
All right, that's how you tailgate it. How many years have you been coming straight?
About 25 years now.
You know what? I'll tell you what, you guys deserve a hand, because that is the most any team could ever ask for is the dedication. I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt that you guys, are fans of the New England Patriots, the dynasty over the last 20 years. But every team could hope and wish that they have dedicated fans like you guys. So congratulations to you guys for really sticking behind your team.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when they're winning, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
John, you're talking about this game and what you think the Patriots are going to do. And, one thing Belichick does well is he goes after that one player and makes sure the star player on their team is shut down. You're going to see him shut down DeAndre Hopkins today. You'll have Deshaun Watson beat him on a couple plays. He'll get a couple touchdowns for sure. I'm sure they're worried about Watson's running game. But if you shut down DeAndre Hopkins, I think you'll have a pretty good game. But they still have Lamar Miller, too, who can run the ball. But I really think you shut down DeAndre Hopkins, leave him with a little bit of no passing game because they're also missing Fuller, who is probably Deshaun Watson's favorite receiver. So I really think the Patriots can handle this on the defensive end. But we can outshoot any team out there, really, and put up points against any team.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see, and as far as it goes, Chris, we had our Thursday show, and on the Thursday show, what we talked about on the Thursday show. And, really the prediction here is, for me, is that your Patriots are rolling into Detroit week 3, 0-2. So obviously I've picked Houston to beat up on the Patriots in this game. And
hey, Dave.
Yeah, Dave's not going to help you on this one, pal. But he wants to. Okay, let's go to Dave.
Dave's coming back from a cookie break. He thinks the Patriots are going to start 0-2.
Johnny's a smart guy.
You think they're going to
Yeah,
0-2?
home to Texas at Jacksonville. Is that our schedule? Dummy there, kid. I mean, you're from Florida,
And
but
then he thinks Detroit's going to be.
let's not get crazy there, Matt Patricia. We'll knock off the Lions, but the other two could be a challenge.
Hey, I'm calling for the Patriots to roll into my hometown, Detroit, at 0-2. And that's not a big stretch because those are two really tough games, I think, for the Patriots to start their season with.
Johnny, I agree, but you know what? We're going to bitch slap Detroit all over the place.
Hey, I want you to know one thing about that Detroit game, okay? Picture Detroit winning for the last 20 years like you guys, and then take your fan and your enthusiasm and take it up by about 10. That's kind of the simulation when you have a night game in Detroit. They've been out there since 8 in the morning for an 8 p.m. game. So, I mean, it's going to be an enthusiastic home crowd that New England's rolling into.
Johnny, we like that challenge.
That's good. I hope I can get you guys to show up. That'll be even more fun.
I like this guy.
So, Chris, let's get back to one thing that you said with the Hopkins, okay? You said something with the Hopkins thing and breaking him down, but are you guys going to double him, or do you just think that he can get shut down with one of your better defensive corners on the
No, you'll double him.
You'll double him. Okay.
Yeah, you'll double him up, and he'll have coverage over the top with McCourty, one of the McCourty brothers in there. I'm kind of interested to see that. You got the two twin brothers playing on the same team this year.
Yeah, that's always exciting when you see that. It's exciting seeing the brothers go at it, or hand in hand, I should say. And you got the same thing with Seattle with the brothers on their team. That's going to be fun to see too.
Yeah, that's true.
Great story out of Seattle with that kid coming in there. So, Chris, let's get back to a little bit more football here, okay? We got your New England Patriots, but is there any other games today that are standing out for you that is something you're really, really looking to, you can get a taste of where a team's kind of at this year? Is there a special game that you got your eye on today?
I'm really actually interested in the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. Everybody's talking about they think this could be the game. Cleveland could really be the big upset of the weekend. I still don't see it. I still think Pittsburgh is the team to beat there.
Chris, my pick in that game is Cleveland, and I am calling on that upset for Cleveland. And I like the matchup. I really do like the matchup. I believe that Cleveland's a dangerous team on offense. All those games that they lost over the last 2 years, there were a lot of those games that were close. I mean, it's not like they went undefeated with a blowout every week. They had a lot of close games. You thought they were going to get a win many times, but it turns out that they went undefeated last year. But when you look at this offense this year and you look at what they've done and who they got in, and they got a decent running game, especially when you can tear up the field with some passes and then you go to the running game. I'm telling you, the offense is going to be hard to stop. And then you go to the defense. Their defense looks angry. Their defense looks hungry and angry. And Big Ben's going to have twinkle toes today to get away from this rush.
You know, Levy and Bell not being there is really going to hurt them.
I think so.
James Conner is, he's no Le'Veon Bell. So it'll be interesting to see. I think one of the things Pittsburgh has in this that Cleveland doesn't have is Pittsburgh's mad as hell at Le'Veon Bell and not being there. So they think they've got something to prove. So I think that's what kind of pushed them over the edge. I think it's a lot closer game than it would be with Le'Veon Bell. But I think that anger issue with Pittsburgh should really put them over the edge and make that a game for Pittsburgh to win.
I agree with you.
Tyrod Taylor's a game manager. You're going to see him manage the game well. He's not going to throw a lot of interceptions this year. I think he's the quarterback. I was watching earlier on one of the sports shows. They were talking about how many games over under Mayfield will play, and it would be eight or more. And I think it's the under there. I think Tyrod Taylor keeps that job just because he's not going to throw a lot of interceptions. He's going to manage the game well, and they'll win some games unless they go 0-8 and he's throwing interceptions. I think Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback for the majority of the year there in Cleveland.
I agree with you 100% on that, and it's something that I think is good, and I think it's a great thing for Mayfield because Tyrod he is a vet. He's been around. He's a little bit more cooler in certain situations. I think they're equal. I think they're equal in a lot of ways. They're both great quarterbacks, and Mayfield being the rookie, where a lot of people really gave him a bad rap. Maybe they misinterpreted his confidence as well as someone as being cocky. But to me, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. But that being said, where I think you have two legitimate starters on your team right now, I am looking for Tyrod Taylor to take this team. And Chris, I will shock you when I say this, but I'm looking for the Browns. The Browns, you heard it here first, to make a playoff push. I know. I know. It's shocking.
Switch over to my face.
Again, and Chris, I'll go back to what I've said, and I'll go back to it, and I'll say it to you, and I'll say it to you again the way I did. Could you have predicted that the Philadelphia Eagles would have been your Super Bowl champions, knocking off your home New England Patriots? Could have you predicted that?
No, I didn't predict that.
Okay.
No, by no means,
Okay.
But the Philadelphia Eagles aren't coming off an 0-16 season.
Which makes a team that I'm picking extremely thirsty. Thirsty. Kind of like you today, Chris. A little thirsty. Yeah, I know you're thirsty. Yes, that's good. Hey, Chris, I didn't. Yeah.
My girl Stacy brings me my koozie every single game.
Well, that's great. So, one thing I didn't ask you, Chris, and I got to ask you, what kind of groceries are you throwing down your neck today?
You know what? I haven't thrown a grocery down my neck. Waiting for this show. I'm gonna after I get off here, we're gonna have some chicken sandwiches and some hamburgers. What else do they got over there? We had cheese and crackers already. We had a vegetable plate. I don't know why we brought that. My wife just hit me.
Hey, I think we know who brought the vegetable plate. Donna! Hey! Donna, did you bring the vegetables to the show?
No, I didn't. But I like it.
All right. Donna, who you picking to win the game, Donna? Houston? I thought you said Houston the other day.
No.
You didn't? Okay. Hey, you guys have a great time today. I know it's got to be fun. What's the weather like, Chris?
Dude, it's cold. It's in the, well, I think we're at like 60 degrees right now. I got a sweatshirt on. I am still wearing shorts. I don't know if I'm going to switch to the long pants later, but I didn't expect it to be this cold.
Yeah.
There, I'll be honest.
Well, Chris, you know, you're a Florida boy now, so yeah, that's kind of chilly. Chris, do me a favor before we leave. I really would love for you to pan the parking lot and show me how many fans are out there this early.
All right, hold on. I'm going to give you a little walk around. While we're doing that, do you want to go over some picks that we had?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to walk around and kind of talk about it, but
All right.
I'm really upset that Murphman has a better record than I do.
Well, Murphman's going to do his next pick. I'm going to just do a special that comes out with Murphman where he's picking his Thursday games, just a one-pick game. And then as we move along through the season, I think Murphman might end up having some featured games that he picks, the pick of the week. So his Thursday night was the pick of the week, so that was great. Looks like you got a lot of vans that come to this tailgate.
I'll walk back up towards it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's the same van. Wow, look at all these cars out here. You guys playing any games out there, Chris?
Yeah.
What's up?
Love you, Johnny. They love you out here.
What's up? All right. Wow. I can't believe that you guys got a lot of groceries out there, Chris. Look at all these people.
So here, I'm going to pan just this is just my group. Johnny.
That's your group. Okay. Wow. That's a good group.
15, 20 of us.
You can tell you got a couple shy people in your group, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple shy people in your group. You're getting some awkward looks. But I tell you, hey.
Stadium in the distance, I don't know if it's too far.
No, I can see the stadium in the distance there. That's pretty awesome. So, Chris, I'm going to put you back up here on camera here. Let's go over some of the games, Chris. If you can we already talked about the Browns and the Steelers. Steelers are at the Browns. I'm obviously picking the home team, Browns. Chris, what's the next game you really are keeping your eye on that you're looking at today?
I think the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Giants. I think the defense there and the Jaguars are just too good for the improved Giants.
And that's a tough one for me to pick. It's a very tough one for me to pick. And I'm kind of up in the air. I think it's going to be a great game. The addition to Barkley in New York, I think, is a game changer for them. That's a game changer because I think that Peyton Manning is capable of picking up a blitz and dumping it off quick. And I think, he's a proven veteran in doing that. So that's one thing Jacksonville, I'm not so sure that anybody in the NFL right now is going to fully understand how to handle this Barkley or how good he is, how quick he is, everything like that, until they're actually playing up against him, and then it might be too late. So I'm looking to see a lot of Barkley on some short drops, some screen passes, and I'm looking for kind of the New York Giants to sucker Jacksonville into that blitz to Peyton Manning, because that's, to me, if I had a game plan, an offensive game plan, one of them would certainly and most obviously be getting the ball in Barkley's hands from a pass.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's what the Giants are going to do. My thing that I would say about Barkley, don't judge him on this game on what he's going to do in the next remaining 15 games. Their job is going to be to shut him.
Okay, we got a little bit of an audio problem with you, Chris. You're kind of cutting in and out. Let's see if we can go back to you and see if your audio's a little improved. Chris, are you with me?
Okay, I am with you. I can hear you.
We just had a little bit of a glitch there in the audio, and you were speaking a different language for a minute.
It's windy out here. I wouldn't judge. I mean, I don't know how far back to go, but I wouldn't judge Barkley on this game. I think Jacksonville's defense is just too good for Barkley. So I think Barkley's going to have a great career, and I'm interested to see what he'll do this season. I think he'll be a star running back. I think he'll be the third rookie running back to win the rushing title, actually.
Wow, that's quite a prediction.
Third in a row, right?
Yeah, and that's quite a prediction. And I got to tell you right now, I agree with you. I think he is going to, but I want to see him tested by a defense like this today. I think it's going to be good for him. So moving right along, Chris, you're taking Jacksonville to beat up on the Giants, and I'm going to go right along with you on that pick today, and I'm going to have to go with Jacksonville as well. Who else do you got, Chris?
Next game I got is New Orleans Saints against our hometown Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Woo, woo.
Jameis win.
Jameis is not playing in this game, but
Jameis will win.
now hold on a second here. You do know how many wins that Fitzpatrick had last year, right?
Doesn't matter, man. They're not going to beat the Saints. The Saints are an offensive juggernaut, and their defense is much better this year.
And Chris, I agree with you on this. I'm picking the Saints as well, but I'm not picking the Saints because of our quarterback position. I'm picking the Saints because I feel they're the better team. But you're not going to convince me yet, as they keep talking about it, that Jameis isn't going to lose the game for us. He's got a lot to prove to me this year, and what he has to prove to me is when he's in the red zone that if he can't score the touchdown, he's not giving away the 3 points. And to me, it's not the quarterback position that's going to win or lose this game. It's going to come down to how well can Tampa Bay's defense match up against New Orleans Saints offense. And that's what I'm really hoping for. But I got to go with the way of the New Orleans Saints my way. I think they're a great team this year that are most likely going to win out of our division.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I think it really hurts the Bucs not having Winston there. So New Orleans Saints, man, it'll be interesting to see without Ingram how they do.
Right, yeah.
Now, does Ingram make Kamara better?
I think so. I think he does. When you got a guy like that, a go-to guy like that, it does change the game. When you have a playmaker, it's just about getting the ball in their hands. That alone, and then let them work it. But them touching the ball, playmakers touching the ball changes games. So, yes, that's a difference maker. And the same thing we talked about with Pittsburgh and Le'Veon Bell. Having him in the game is a difference maker. The guy runs the ball in such a patient, unique style, waiting for those holes to open up, that not having him there is a difference. So, Chris, let's shake and bake, I should say, and move right along to another game here. What do you got for me, Chris?
I got the Vikings over the Niners.
Vikings over the Niners. They're playing where? In San Fran?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so you got the Viking. You're bringing it to me quick, aren't you? I appreciate that.
I still got notes.
Yeah, that's great.
It's at Minnesota.
I appreciate that you got them notes. So you're going Vikings over the Niners. And I'm with you 100% on that. And I wouldn't care where they were playing. To tell you, quite honestly, I could care less where they're playing. Vikings over the Niners, to me, is a no-brainer. Even though you got your past backup quarterback in Garoppolo that you seem to like quite a bit, I still go with the Vikings.
I think the Niners, I like the Niners going forward, but losing Jerick McKinnon is a big loss for them that they didn't expect.
Yeah. So Chris, as we're moving through here with all these different games, the week one to me, when we're getting into week one here, preseason, this is when you really realize how little preseason does matter. I mean, and for an example, I know you got Dave over there that didn't like the play of Nick Foles, but that's why I say, and what happened with that game, although you might not like the play of him, they won the game with their backup quarterback. And that's huge.
Did they win that game, or did Atlanta lose that game?
Well, there's two teams on the field. There's two teams on the field.
Atlanta's my pick for an NFC division title there. And
Do you still want to stick with that pick, or?
You know what? The way they looked against Philadelphia, I don't know that I do. If Julio Jones, who I have in both my fantasy leagues, was phenomenal, but if he can't get into the end zone, they're not going to win games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think they need to I think they had to seriously look at the play call coordinator, and I think that you strategically have to use Julio Jones as a diversion player for a certain amount of time in the red zone. It's almost impossible for him. You have to put the ball where almost nobody can get it, and it's making it extremely difficult for this guy. When you watch what his body goes through in one game, because of what he has to do to try to catch these balls. I mean, it's just he's hitting the ground, slamming into it every time. So anyway, let's not divert away from where we're going. Chris, are you taking the Vikings?
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings.
Okay, let's move right along. I'm going right with you on that on the Vikings. Moving right along. Who else do you got?
I think this is a tough. Next game I have is the Titans over the Dolphins. I think that's a tough game to pick. You know, who knows what Mariota's going to do? Tannehill going to do? These are two I see below 500 teams playing each other. Miami, I think, is better than they were last year, having Tannehill back. But I have Tennessee winning that game at home. I mean, at Miami.
Tennessee at Miami, and I gotta say, I gotta go with you on that one as well. I'm not like thinking that Miami's gonna do very well this year. And then the Titans with Mariota, I think he's gonna bounce back a little bit better this year than he had last year. I'm definitely looking for the Titans to come in there and handle Miami pretty easily. Moving right along, Chris. I don't want to waste much time on that game. That one happens to be a little boring to me. What else you got, Chris?
How about a good game? The Chargers and the Chiefs.
That is a good game because that is going to be an offensive explosion and fun to watch. I'm really excited seeing Kansas City's got a lot of firepower, and it's exciting. And I can't wait to see them in their full strength, post preseason mode. I cannot wait to see what this offense does. And then, of course, the Chargers.
Keenan Hill or Tyreek Allen?
I'm sorry?
Who has more yardage than that? Keenan Allen or Tyreek Hill?
I'm going to say Hill. I am going to say Hill.
You're on the Mahomes bandwagon, aren't you?
Well, I like the guy. He's a rocket. He's one of the fastest guys out there on the field. And then he's got an arm throwing it to him. So, we talked to Rocco about that, and he told us that a quarterback over there in KC would put the ball up in the air 70 yards on the fly. I mean, Donna, you're back. How's it going? Did you want to talk football?
I just put some chicken on the grill.
Nice. What do you got on top of the chicken? Cheese?
Not yet. Teriyaki.
Nice.
Teriyaki chicken. We're going to grill a couple pineapples, too, and some cheese.
Woo! Yes. Sounding good. All right, Chris. So, Chris, you got who do you have in that game?
I got the Chargers.
You're taking the Chargers. Casey and the Chargers.
Chargers at home.
Chargers at home. Chris, I'll tell you, I love KC. I love what they have there this year. It's looking great. But I am, along with you, going to go with the Chargers. I think this is Phillip Rivers' year. I think Phillip Rivers is a great quarterback. I love the way he plays with enthusiasm. His release is as fast as they come. It reminds me of the Dan Marino release. It comes down to how much has their defense improved. Every time I'm watching these teams that are exciting to watch, it seems like it comes down to that: who has the ball last, and did you leave a little bit too much time on the clock with 45 seconds? So, to me, I am going with you with the Chargers, But I just always am a little worried as is it just a shootout offense and whoever has the ball last wins the game. And I'm hoping that's not the fact in this game. I just hope that the Chargers handle the ball both on offense and defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a shootout, and you're going to see very little defense in that game.
Okay, then. Chris, moving right along. What do you got for me there, Chris? You got to talk about the Chicago at the Chicago game. Was Chicago at Green Bay?
I don't know where the game is, but I bet you got to take Aaron Rodgers in that game.
Yeah, it's Chicago at Green Bay. And that to me is kind of a no-brainer right there. If you ask me, that's kind of a no-brainer. Anybody who picked Chicago to win that game has season tickets with the Chicago Bears.
You know, I think the real question isn't who's going to win there. I think the question is how many sacks will Khalil Mack get on his new team. And I think the Chicago fans, need to be excited for this team in the years to come.
I agree with you. And that is probably, as far as the defensive side of the ball goes, that is where everybody's eyes are going to be. They're going to see, okay, who's this new pick we got? Is he game ready? How many plays on the field? Is he going to be coming in, subbing in, or is he just going all out? I hope this guy's conditioned himself, which I think, regardless if you're a holdout or not, every one of these multi-million-dollar athletes should be conditioned when they know what time it is, and it's football time. So, as far as conditioning goes, if you ask me, you better have your cardio up underneath those cleats. If you don't, shame on you. You're a multi-million-dollar professional athlete, the best in the world. They call them that. You better be ready to play ball when it comes September.
Sure.
All right, Chris, how about we go ahead and we take a look. I think we pretty much covered a lot of the highlight games that we wanted to cover. Is there any other particular game that you got your eye on?
Let's go Detroit Jets.
Detroit Jets.
I can't leave, even though it's not a marquee game, it is a Monday night game. I can't leave your Detroit Lions out of this.
But I just wanted to hear you say it. I didn't want to bring it in. I wanted to hear you say Detroit. They get left out of so many conversations, these Detroit Lions, and I'm excited for them this year. So, Chris, you know my pick right now. I'm just going to say right now, let's hear the Lions roar.
So I am a Patriots fan, and I think the Jets suck, no matter what. So I take the Detroit Lions.
Yes, Chris. That's going a long way with my homeboys back home in Detroit. If I do bring you up there, and I finally do get you up there, you're safe. You're safe just because of that pick. And don't worry about it. Chris, what's going on over there? I'm hearing a lot of craziness.
I do not know. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know that I want to know. I'm trying to see if they're gambling or drinking.
Okay, Chris.
Are they playing Liars Poker yet? No, it's no Liars Poker, so it's drinking.
It's drinking it is. I don't know why, but everybody loves to drink Kool-Aid at those games.
This is true.
They do. Okay, Chris. You have the Detroit Lions taking care of the Jets. Is this just because you have something against the Jets and you don't really like them?
No, this is a game that I'm interested to see their running backs for Detroit. I'm interested to see who's going to get the ball there because I think they have Kerryon Johnson, the rookie, and then they have LeGarrette Blount and the other guy, Riddick. And I'm hoping for fantasy that Kerryon Johnson gets the ball a lot. I just think that the Jets, with the rookie quarterback, can't get it done. I will say this: if the Detroit Lions lose to the Jets, the Lions are in trouble.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100% on that. I don't see it happening, but yes, obviously, that's a catastrophe if it happened, and there's going to be a lot of upset Detroit fans. I can guarantee you that.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening either. Okay, Chris, we're going to move along. I know you got some chicken on the grill. You're ready to throw some groceries down your throat. And we appreciate you taking the time out at one of your all-time famous tailgate parties going 25 years strong. There's the groceries on the grill. Wow, does that look good? I'm a little bit jealous right now, but I can always slide right over to Johnny's Tap House at the corner of the studio for my chicken. You know that's right. So, Chris, which piece are you going to take when off of that grill? Which one are you going for?
I'm going for one of those piece of chickens. I've had it marinating overnight.
Oh, yeah, nice. All right, Chris. Well, next game, you're back into the studio. I probably will be in the New York studio, so we're going to be crossing paths, but you'll be holding down the Tampa studio next week. So enjoy the rest of your Boston trip, and every one of you guys have a great time. Chris, get Dave or somebody back in there with you so I can close out with him.
Hey, I want you to email me your picks so I know you're not cheating.
Hey, you know I'm not cheating. I'm doing my picks live, buddy. Live. Where is...
All right, Dave. There's Dave. He wants to say goodbye.
Dave.
Hey, Johnny, great talking to you, kid.
You two have a great time in the game. Keep an eye on that guy for me. Keep an eye on him.
Here's to a Patriots Lions Super Bowl, kid.
Oh, I like it. All right, guys, have a great time. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, John, we'll talk to you later. Take care.
All right. Yep. Take care. All right. So there we have it. That was a lot of fun. I love being able to go live to the tailgate parties like that. Just so much fun. And it's also a lot of fun showing the enthusiasm of fans and real fans that, you know, this is a tradition for them. 25 years strong. And Chris showed us what the New England Patriot organization did, and they sent them a football, thanked them on their 25 years. They were also celebrating the craft ownership of 25 years, so they sent him a nice paper and a football, NFL football, with Chris's name on it. You guys saw that on that show, that Thursday show, and he was super excited about it, as any one of us football fans would be. So they're having a great time in New England, and but that is kind of, you know, I envy them a little bit. I would love to be in a football parking lot today, and who knows, I could end up in a football parking lot somewhere later this afternoon. I'm hoping we get a couple calls in because I'm really looking for a little bit more inside information from a couple of our seasoned callers, and that's going to be fun to do. Letting everybody know that does not know this, and if you're first time of checking in at the Leepa Live Sports Show, I want you to be able to know that at any given time while this show's going, you can call into the show. You can call into the show. You have the ability, and the way we've set this up, and I'll show you what we've done. We've made it to where you basically can call into the show. The show happens every Thursday at 7:30 p.m., every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. All you have to do is message us. You can find Leepa Live on Facebook. If you find Leepa Live on Facebook, send us a message. We'll get you right in on the show. If you go to leapalive.com, go ahead, go to leapalive.com. If you go to leapalive.com, if you want to be part of the show, click on the link to be part of the show. You're going to fill out the simple thing there and subscribe, and you are going to literally be in line. It is a very short line because I've had callers lined up 3 and 4 at a time, and I move faster if there's 3, slower if there's 1. So, and this isn't something that's edited. You're live when you call in, and I hope you respect the fact that you are live and keep it cool. You know, try not to get too carried away. You can disagree. You can be a hater or a lover, whatever you want to be. I just ask that you respect the fact there may be some small children, so keep it at a minimum of the 4 words. You can say certain things to break them up. You can say shh, and then you can say the word it, as long as they are not grouped together too close. With that being said, I really am looking forward to having some fans, which, believe it or not, to me, some of the fans are the best football experts. They've been doing this their whole life. It's been handed down to them. Fans are what makes the game. Yes, players, they're fun to watch. They're great. They come and go. The fans spend a lifetime watching these games. The stats, the players. It's a fans game, and as soon as we all get right back to the root of that and understand it's entertainment, and who are you entertaining? That's right. So that's why that we've really put this sports show together in the way we have. It is the sports show of the fans, and every single person that is on this show is a fan. They're representing their team. That's exactly what it is. There's no bias to anything. It's fans, real fans representing their team, and they're speaking from the heart. And they're gonna pick their homeboys almost every time. But that's why we want to go to those calls and everything like that. Well, some of the other games that we got going on today, there's a lot of exciting games. I mean, when you look at all of the games, the first week of football, we couldn't ask for anything more as far as getting games where we're going to get a real good chance to see. Okay, is this going to tell us something about where we're going, where this team's going? Did we expect something a little different from this team than we had seen in the preseason? Preseason is preseason, more or less. I look at it as like, yeah, you're going to check out the rookies. You're going to see, okay, who is this draft pick that we got, and is he really worth the pick we spent on him, or who's going to make the team, who's going to get cut, or when you have it to where you have a quarterback could potentially be a quarterback controversy. I mean, but when it's a quarterback battle, that's when you're looking at it as like, okay, well, as far as the quarterback battle goes, what is the controversy there? Is it who's going to win the game? Who's going to get the starting position? That's where, to me, it matters with preseason. Today we got a 1 o'clock game. We have the Buffalo Bills are in Baltimore. Buffalo Bills are in Baltimore. And with that game right there, I'm just going to tell you right now with that game, I'm looking definitely for Baltimore to win this game. Buffalo, I liked Buffalo last year, but this year Buffalo seems to have taken a step back. Baltimore is Baltimore. They've always had a pretty decent defense. So with Baltimore and their somewhat decent defense, it's enough to be able to handle the Bills' offense, which I don't think is going to be faring off very well at all this season. But hey, who am I? I'm just a sports fan saying what I think as far as sports fans go. Um, it's going to be exciting. Another thing I'm really looking forward to, and I'm sure many more of you are, especially if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan, because Indy has their star quarterback in Andrew Luck back, and he's just a fun guy to watch. I mean, he really is a fun guy to watch. If you're into football and see someone who basically he's not an arrogant person. It's actually quite funny sometimes in the way he talks about the game. The way he talks about his play and other people's play. He's entertaining. So that is a game to watch today. You have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Indy to play the Indianapolis Colts. The recap here on this in 2017, Cincy beat them 24-23, but you can't base it on that. You just can't base it on that, and the reason why you can't base it on that is because they didn't have Andrew Luck, okay? And Andrew Luck, the difference of having Andrew and not having Andrew is huge because you're just talking about, to me, what I call an all-star quarterback. And when you lose that guy, and especially when you didn't really have a great offensive line, and so you're bringing a backup in, and maybe Andrew Luck should have been the MVP. When you win with him and he's gone, and then you don't win at all. You win with him, he's there, and then you don't win with him being hurt, he's gone. Is that an MVP? I mean, I don't know. They say MVP is the most valuable player, and a lot of times I think these picks are a little messed up. Not only in football, but in all the major sports, they kind of miss that as most valuable player. And I thought that's what it was. But anyway, I'm looking definitely 100% for the Cleveland to run in there and run back home with their tail between their legs and taking a loss on that game. So, as far as the 1 o'clock games go, you've got that Bills game that we talked about. Everybody should be looking forward to the Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. I definitely will take Baltimore on that. 1 o'clock game. We had already talked about this one time before. You've got Jacksonville at the New York Giants. That's going to be another really good game. Chris and I both took Jacksonville on that game. Another 1 o'clock game. You've got our hometown here at the Tampa Bay studio. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at the New Orleans Saints. Chris and I, even though we are Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, it's not our primary team. And we are Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. We our home studio. We got the home studio in Tampa Bay, and we also now have the second studio in New York Times Square studio. We're both going to go for the Saints, though. We just think that the Saints is. I think the Saints are going to take the division. Chris thinks the Falcons are going to take the division, but that is another good team. 1 o'clock, you've got the Texans. The Texans are, of course, as we spend most of the morning talking about, the Texans or the New England Patriots. This is going to be a great game. We talked a lot about it. I don't want to talk more about it. Chris obviously picked his New England Patriots, and I picked Houston. Picked Houston to take down the GOAT today. Moving right along, 1 o'clock, we have the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers at the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings take this game. You're taking 49ers on the road, first game of the season for them on the road, and they're going to Minnesota that everybody got a real good chance to see what they were all about last year. They haven't taken too big of a step away from that by getting Cousins in there. I think they're going to be better. So, look out, Minnesota. Look out. That's going to be a great game. I'm taking Minnesota in that game. Chris took Minnesota in that game as well. We seem to agree on quite a few of these till we get into, anything involving New England. He's a little biased. Did I tell you that? He's a little biased. We have the Titans. Tennessee Titans are going to Miami South Beach. Make sure you bring your umbrella, not for the rain, for the heat. The heat is on, no doubt about it, in Miami in more ways than one. And you can very much guarantee this, and you could tag my name to it. Miami doesn't stand a chance. You guys are going to be lucky to win 4 or 5 games this season. Sorry if I hurt your feelings, struck a sour chord with you there, but Miami is going to look a little more like the Marlins, the Miami Marlins. The Miami Dolphins are going to look a little bit more like the Miami Marlins. So sorry if you are a diehard Miami fan, and I'm sorry if you've got the blinders on to keep you in your lane, but Miami is not going to look too good this year. Sorry about that, Miami fans, but that's life, and it doesn't really matter if you go to the game because you enjoy the game. Moving right along with another 1 o'clock game. That's the one I just did, so we're not moving on that. We just talked about them Tennessee Titans. We do have that Steelers game that we talked about, 1 o'clock. Pittsburgh Steelers are at the Cleveland Browns. And Chris took Pittsburgh to win that game. With me, you know what I think about this. I think that Okay, so you're gonna have the Pittsburgh Steelers win that game. I'm not so sure about that. With me, I'm more or less thinking, okay, so how about the Browns? I like the Browns. Not so much. Not so much the Pittsburgh Steelers. What is it that I like about the Browns? Well, I'll tell you what it is that I like about the Browns. Okay, what it is that I like about the Browns is this team's been beat up. They've been beat up mentally and physically. Okay, I'm really surprised the coach is still there. I really am. It says a lot about the organization and really wanted to give somebody a fair shot at turning the organization around and turning the team around. So after watching, I watched the HBO special. If you have not yet watched the HBO special, Hard Knocks on HBO, you go. I got HBO now, so when I watch almost everything I watch on the computer, and it goes right into my big screen LCD. I mean, who doesn't do this now? I mean, I do, and if you're watching me, and most likely you have something, some sort of phone, tablet, computer, laptop, or even desktop that's going into your large screen TV, which is what I do, and that's how you're watching this program. If that's how you're watching it, that's the future. Everybody knows it. If you don't know that, I don't know. There's a commercial that said something about being under a rock. You're under a rock. Get out from underneath that rock. Times are changing. Having said that, these Cleveland Browns are hungry. They are hungry. If you watch the HBO special, Hard Knocks, I watch it on HBONow.com. I registered for that. I love it because I can watch all my series that I love. But also, I go into the sports tab on the HBO Now. And under the sports tab, you click that and you will find the football and you'll find the Hard Knocks. That's a great show. It really is. You get inside with these teams. So I watched all four of the episodes leading up to the end here, where obviously they're starting regular season. You got to see all the highlighted players and who got cut, who didn't get cut, who made the team, and what you did get to see was you got to hear a little bit of the locker room talk, a little bit of the coaching talk, and the way that he expects his team to respond, the way he expects his team to practice, the way he expects his team to take the field. And I will tell you this right now, their defense has one of the toughest defensive coaches. Wow. You really got to check your ego in your locker room and then lock the locker, shut the door, and leave your ego there because this guy's like a drill sergeant. And maybe that's exactly what these Cleveland Browns need. I will tell you this, they seem to respect him. He expects the best out of you every second the ball snapped, every second of the play. There's not a play off. If you want to win a game, you don't take one play off. You don't take a half of a play off. You don't take any snaps off. You play the game to win. Huh? I don't know where that came from. But anyway, if you want to check that out, you really should check out the Hard Knocks on HBO. I am taking the Cleveland Browns, which everybody would call an upset, but to me, it's not. The Cleveland Browns are going to get their first win in a very long time at home. They're going to be extremely excited, and it is going to set them on a path to a successful 2018 football season. Look for that. It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. And all you Cleveland Brown fans, support your team. You should be extremely excited about this season. And I know, hey, a lot of smoke underneath that, right? Yeah, no, be excited about this team. I think they're finally starting to get it right over there in Cleveland. We hope so. Pittsburgh, I know you're good. I know you've been good for a long time. Sometimes I just don't like the swagger. I just don't. So you got to prove something to me. We already did talk about the other. This is a 4:05 game. We're going into the 4 o'clock games. I told you all the 1 o'clock games. I don't want to forget about the Bengals and I know we talked about it, but the Bengals that are at the Colts. So I don't want to forget about that one that I told you about that one. Now moving along to the 4 o'clock games. 4 o'clock games. We have Kansas City is at the Chargers. Chris and I talked about that, and we both took the Chargers on that. We think the Chargers offense is going to be a little too much for that Kansas City defense, and it's at home for the Chargers. And just that right there makes a difference. Vegas thinks so. So do I. So that's something you always got to pay attention to is if it's home or away, depending on the team, yes. But there still is a difference in points for home and away. So that's the way that is. At 425, we have the Seahawks. Get the Seahawks at the Denver Broncos. And I got some Denver Bronco fans that I expect to be calling into the show on an occasion. What they're going to talk about this year with their Broncos, I don't know. But on a rare occasion in this week is I am taking the away team and the Seattle Seahawks to come away with a win in this game. And I don't think it's going to be a huge win, but I am thinking that the Seattle Seahawks are going to sneak away with a win at that 425 game. The Cowboy game, that's an interesting one right there. At 425, Dallas is at the Panthers. That's a cool game, isn't it? The Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco. Jeez. Huh. I need another cup of coffee is what's going on. I do evening shows, not morning shows. And I know it's not really morning, but still. We have the Dallas Cowboys over there in Carolina facing Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Carolina happens to be in the division of our home studio team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I don't really root for Carolina, but I'll put that to the side right now and make a pick based on the matchup, not where my heart lies in these. And I'm going to tell you right now that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go over there. They're going to slap them around a little bit. It's not going to happen with just the passing game. You have Ezekiel Elliott. This guy is a stud. He's a true jock in that locker room. He's a stud. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run. The idea of this for Dallas is just to get the ball in his hands. What I liked about him last year is in the fourth quarter what he can do. He can run it down your throat. He can run the clock. The guy can run the ball up the middle, around the corner. He can catch it out of the backfield. He is a great addition to that team. And if Dak is going to have a good game, he's going to have to pick that blitz off and be able to quickly dump that ball. And when he dumps that ball, if he's got Elliott sitting there, game changer. That is a game changer. I easily take Dallas in this game to go to Carolina and win the game. That's an easy one for me because of the matchup. The 425 game, you have the Redskins are in. They're facing the Cardinals. Cardinals home. Skins are coming in. I'm not real excited about the Redskins this year. I am not real excited about the Cardinals this year just because I don't know who their quarterback's going to be week 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I just don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Really hard for me to tell because that is a difference maker. And with the Redskins, I mean, they've got the chance, but it just seems like the Redskins can't seem to put all the players together at once with the roster, whether or not you're going to have a good defense or you're going to have a good offense. How about a mediocre defense and a mediocre offense and see if you can go 8-8 and do something? How about that? Be excited to see if they can do that this year. Let's keep cruising along here. You got Chicago. We had talked about that game, Chris and I. That Chicago game happens to be an 8:20 game. It's the 8 o'clock game tonight. Chicago is at the Packers. We already know we don't have to spend a lot of time here. Chris and I both picked that Chicago's taking that game. So, I mean, me and Chris both are pretty much straight down the middle there. It's extremely hard if you think you're going to come in an 8 o'clock game into Green Bay and win that. Monday night's game, we talked about the one game being that the Jets are in Detroit That's a Monday night football game in Detroit. I'm so happy for Detroit to be having that. It's the first Monday night football game of the season. And I say Detroit takes that one with enthusiasm, strictly from enthusiasm. The 10-20 game, I don't know if I'll make that one. That's late for me. Uh, you have the Rams are at Oakland. And I have to take the Rams in that. John Gruden's a great coach. Sad to see him out of the Monday Night Football booth, but ironic that he's first Monday Night Football game, or the second one, we should say, second one that night, and it's his team there. I think he's a great coach. We had him here in Tampa Bay for a while. A lot of people criticized him. I did the opposite. Sometimes you win a Super Bowl, people want to say Dungy won the Super Bowl. Actually, Dungy did not win a Super Bowl here. I do appreciate your enthusiasm. I do appreciate what you did for the defense, Mr. Dungy. You did not win a Super Bowl the year before, did you? No, you did not, with the same defense. I'm sorry. And I do appreciate your enthusiasm. We got Coach Gruden, who actually was one game away from the Super Bowl in the previous year with the Raiders. Shocking that he lost a job in the Raiders, and shocking that we picked him up and won a Super Bowl. So I know what everybody wants to say. I think Gruden's a great coach. I think that Rocco gave us an incredible point when he called in on the show on Thursday, and basically how he looks at the Raiders and why they gave this $100 million contract to a head coach, 10-year, $100 million, is because they're looking into the future and going to Vegas. And I can't agree with you more, Rocco, on that. That's how it looks to me as well. I say that they are definitely 100% looking to the future, and they're going to be set up for when they move to Vegas. So I don't see you taking this Monday night home opener for you there, Mr. Gruden, but I do see you having an okay year, and everything will work out great for you. That's our games for week 1. I ran a little bit over, but that's because it's okay to run over on this show because I don't have a network breathing down my neck right now. I hope you guys get used to the fact that I have this show, Chris and I here at Leepa Live Sports, for you, the fans, and for you to interact with the show, you, the fans, to bring this show to its potential, which is all I want to do. I want to bring this show to its full potential. For me to bring the show to its full potential, what I need to do is I need to have my fans part of the show. So, that being said, folks, just remember, we are here every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. and every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. This is a sports show for the fans. We are not here to put on a suit and tie and talk about some nonsense. We're here to talk football from the fans' perspective. And any one of you fans are good enough to be on this show because you're a football fan. And we talk sports anyway. We're up over here at our places we watch the game at, the pubs, in our living rooms with the tacos and nachos and the jalapenos going on top. And what are we talking about since we've been playing Little League football or whatever? And I'll tell you what, more and more every year, it's all the women that get in on this and all the women that start talking football with us. And it's just a great sport for Sunday. And if we can keep it that way, if we can keep it as an entertainment source where it's our escape, that's right, I said it. And if we can keep it as an entertainment source to where it's our escape from reality, then we're doing something great on Sunday. We're not punching in a clock. We don't want to hear the news on other topics or other things. We're not interested in that on Sunday football. We're interested in the entertainment of this football game we grew up on. We want to watch football, NFL football. We want to socialize. We want to talk stats. We want to talk football. It's entertainment. It's our escape from reality. Way back in the day when we had baseball, MLB was the escape for reality when we were going through some world war. You know, I mean, you look at some of these stories that you hear, where you hear John McCain as a prisoner for 5 years, Vietnam, and they got a new one in there, and they were doing the code. They were tapping and speaking in that way, and when they were doing that, what they were doing, you know what they were talking about? They were talking about sports, I said. Sports. The escape from reality. Please, please, for myself and for all the football fans out there who are the fans of this show because the fans run it, please give us our escape from reality and let us enjoy this great NFL football game the way it was intended to be. It's a game. It is an escape from reality. I appreciate your enthusiasm along with mine. Everybody, I'm going to tell you this right now one more time before we check out. Very important if you want to be part of the show. The best way I suggest you do it is you go to leapalive.com. leapalive.com and check out the show. Great time today. Great morning. I had a blast. I hope you had a blast. Until next time, and I hope all of you join me next Thursday at 7:30. We are going to check out Leepa Live Sports. Go to leapalive.com. Everybody, enjoy your NFL football games today. It's going to be a blast.